Hello, my name is Beatrice and I'm one of the fashion curators here at the Museum of London. I'm super excited to welcome you to another edition of London's Fashion Alphabet. This week we are going to look at J, and I've dressed for the occasion. So you might already have an idea what I'm going to show you. This is one of my favorite outfits in the entire collection, and I was so thrilled when I found out we had it. So it is a tomato red jumpsuit. So there are many things I love about this. Just it being a jumpsuit, that on its own is pretty amazing. I love the color. This jumpsuit is a label we only have one object in the collection of, and it is called Victor Herbert. So Victor Allen Herbert, he was born in 1944 and he went to art school. And then in the mid-60s, he went to the Royal College of Art, and where he got really interested in dress. And he became a designer of many things, but also fashion. A lot for other labels, but also, as you can see, for himself. He didn't have his own shop, so this was actually bought at Austen Reed. Austen Reed was opened in 1900. The first shop was opened not actually very far from here in Fenchurch Street by, you guessed it, someone called Austen Reed. So this is where this was bought. And in the 60s, a lot of London department stores started to have in-house boutiques for younger people. And Austen Reed also did that. So they had their shop called, or their boutique was called Q, C-U-E. And this is where they would sell some maybe a bit more way out, as you would have said, items. So the jumpsuit was one of the things that you would have been able to get there. So the person who wore this jumpsuit is called Brian Bale, and he actually worked for Austen Reed. So he was a display coordinator, or what we would probably now call a visual merchandiser. So he would make sure that the shop, that everything in the shop sort of was presented just right. And it was a fantastic job. It took him all over Europe, all over Scandinavia, wherever Austen Reed was opening a new place. And so he was sort of moving in the fashion world. Brian gave us the entire outfit. So he said he normally wore this jumpsuit with a t-shirt. He also normally wore it with the sleeves slightly rolled up. And then you can see it gets quite narrow here at the bottom. He would tuck in the legs of the jumpsuit into these very, very thick socks. And then he wore the entire outfit with these Dunlop sneakers. Dunlop, maybe some of you know them from making tennis balls or tennis rackets, but they were essentially a rubber company, and rubber is also involved in these sneakers. So they diversified and made sort of clothing as well at some point. And I love how he has made the shoes match with a jumpsuit by putting in some red laces. And he told me another thing about his jumpsuit, and he said the reason why he particularly liked it is he could wear his disco shorts underneath, and then he could just go to the club, whip off the flying suit, and then he was ready to dance. Now, I've been wondering why they were so popular in the late 70s, early 80s, and I've got a few theories. Now, I wonder what you think. So my first theory was it had something to do with Top Gun, but then I checked, and Top Gun, the film, only came out in 1986. Another idea I had was to do with Charlie's Angels, because one of the angels often wore a jumpsuit. A third idea I had was with maybe a lot of flying suits coming onto the market in army surplus stores. So I don't know what it was, or maybe it wasn't any of these. If you've got any ideas why they were so popular, or if you had one, please let us know about it. Thank you so much for watching this week's installment of London's Fashion Alphabet, and please tune in next week for the letter K.